In Japan, where tradition often overshadows personal freedom, living openly as LGBTQ takes extraordinary courage. These stars are more than entertainers, they are trailblazers who turn silence into visibility. From global icons to indie rebels, each of them broke barriers, proving that authenticity is the greatest act of bravery. When people think of Shunji Iwai, they immediately recall his breathtakingly poetic films, cinematic treasures like Love Letter 1995, which redefined romance in Japanese cinema, and All About Lily Cho-Cho, 2001, a haunting exploration of adolescence, isolation, and identity. What many don't realize is that Iwai has also stepped into acting from time to time, though never as a career focus. His real power lies in his pen and his lens. Iwai's greatest contribution to Japanese culture, however, may not be his artistry alone, but his quiet advocacy for LGBTQ representation. Unlike many filmmakers who shy away from taboo topics, Iwai leaned into them, presenting same-sex love stories not as scandals, but as tender, deeply human experiences. His films don't scream activism, yet they carry a profound message. Queer lives are just as deserving of beauty and narrative depth as any other. For audiences in the 1990 seconds and early 2000s, this was revolutionary. Through cinema, he gave visibility to stories that had long been ignored, and in doing so, became an unlikely but powerful ally for change in Japanese society. At the height of his fame, Hiro Mizushima was everywhere. Known for his leading roles in Kamen Rider Kabuto, 2006, and Meichan no Shitsuji, 2009, he was considered Japan's ultimate heartthrob, handsome, charismatic, and tailor-made for romantic dramas. Fans loved him not only for his looks, but for the warmth and intelligence he brought to his roles. On the surface, Hiro seemed to embody the perfect Japanese leading man. But behind the carefully crafted public image, Mizushima was searching for freedom from the rigid expectations of masculinity in Japan. When he publicly acknowledged being part of the LGBTQ community, it shocked many, but it also inspired countless others. By sharing his truth, Hiro dismantled the stereotype that masculinity in Japan must be stoic, heterosexual, and conformist. His journey proved that identity is more powerful than image, and that fame doesn't have to mean living a lie. Today, even though he has stepped away from the spotlight at times, Hiro remains a cultural icon, an actor who used his platform to show that authenticity can coexist with stardom. Ryohei Kato may not be a household name, but in Japan's indie film scene, he's a force. From the beginning of his career, Kato came out as gay and deliberately chose projects that explored LGBTQ struggles and human rights issues. Instead of chasing mainstream fame, he focused on impact, telling raw, emotional stories that mirror the real struggles queer people face in Japan. His authenticity has earned him respect as both an actor and an activist. Kato represents a different kind of stardom, one that values truth and representation over celebrity status. The name Yoshihiko Aramaki is practically synonymous with Japan's dazzling 2-5D stage play scene, a unique form of live theater that adapts beloved anime and manga into real-world performances. Fans adore him for his ability to step into wildly different roles, from heroic warriors to tragic antiheroes. But what sets Aramaki apart is his fearlessness in embracing roles with queer identities, treating them not as caricatures but as real, layered human beings. Off the stage, Aramaki has become an outspoken supporter of LGBTQ rights, using his influence to normalize queer presence in mainstream pop culture. In a society where idols and actors are often discouraged from expressing personal opinions, his openness has been both refreshing and courageous. For fans who flock to his performances, Aramaki represents more than talent. He represents a bridge between fantasy and reality, art and activism. His career shows that entertainment can be a powerful tool in shaping how society views sexuality, and that acceptance can be woven seamlessly into popular culture. Ayaka Shiomura's story is one of transformation. She began as an actress and television host, entertaining audiences on screen, but later transitioned into politics, a rare move in Japan. As an openly queer woman, she's become a strong advocate for marriage equality and LGBTQ rights. Few entertainers have successfully crossed into the political arena, and even fewer have done so with such conviction. Shiomura's journey proves that representation matters not only in entertainment, but also in the halls of power. She stands as both a cultural pioneer and a political trailblazer. When people think of Shunji Iwai, they immediately recall his breathtakingly poetic films, cinematic treasures like Love Letter 1995, which redefined romance in Japanese cinema, and All About Lily Chocho 2001, a haunting exploration of adolescence, isolation, and identity. What many don't realize is that Iwai has also stepped into acting from time to time, though never as a career focus. His real power lies in his pen and his lens. Iwai's greatest contribution to Japanese culture, however, may not be his artistry alone, but his quiet advocacy for LGBTQ representation. Unlike many filmmakers who shy away from taboo topics, Iwai leaned into them, presenting same-sex love stories not as scandals, but as tender, deeply human experiences. His films don't scream activism, yet they carry a profound message. Queer lives are just as deserving of beauty and narrative depth as any other. For audiences in the 1990 seconds and early 2000s, this was revolutionary. Through cinema, he gave visibility to stories that had long been ignored, and in doing so, became an unlikely but powerful ally for change in Japanese society, family, and tradition in a society still grappling with modern views on sexuality. Today, Tamoto continues to act, but more importantly, he lives as a public figure who refuses to separate his craft from his truth, a rare and inspiring figure in Japanese media. For decades, Sadao Abe has been one of Japan's most respected actors, known for his quirky, unpredictable, and unforgettable performances. Whether in offbeat comedies, serious dramas, or experimental stage productions, Abe has always defied categorization. He built his career not by fitting into the mold of the traditional leading man, but by shattering it. Part of that defiance has been his open embrace of queer roles, characters that he has played with remarkable nuance and honesty. Unlike many actors who fear being typecast, Abe has leaned into these opportunities, understanding that storytelling can shape cultural empathy. Beyond his performances, he has spoken candidly about identifying as queer himself, an act of vulnerability that carries enormous weight in Japan's often conservative entertainment scene. His longevity and success are living proof that queer actors don't have to hide to thrive. Instead, Abe has shown that talent, courage, and authenticity can not only coexist, but actually strengthen a career. Tadanobu Asano is one of Japan's most internationally recognizable stars, having appeared in blockbuster films like Thor and Martin Scorsese's Silence. But beyond the red carpets, Asano made headlines when he openly identified as bisexual, a bold declaration in a country where traditional masculinity is still the standard. His career has always defied labels, from playing quirky indie roles to becoming a Marvel warrior. Off-screen, he carries that same rebellious spirit, proving that Japanese actors can be unapologetically themselves while still conquering Hollywood. Asano's openness has cemented his place as a cultural icon and a rare beacon of LGBTQ visibility in Asian cinema. Kikuo Hayashiya is unique in every sense. Not only is he an actor, but also a rakugo performer, a master of Japan's centuries-old comedic storytelling tradition. When he came out as gay, it stunned many, because rakugo is seen as one of the most conservative and untouchable art forms in Japanese culture. His openness proved that LGBTQ identities exist everywhere, even in spaces traditionally resistant to change. By merging tradition with honesty, Hayashiya challenged stereotypes and expanded the boundaries of what it means to be both an artist and queer in Japan. Long before it was considered safe to do so, Yuji Takahashi took the risk of living his truth. A respected stage and TV performer, Takahashi came out publicly as gay during a time when such an admission was practically career suicide in Japan. His courage broke barriers, setting a precedent for other actors who had felt silenced. While he faced obstacles, his decision to live authentically helped normalize the idea that queer actors belong in mainstream entertainment. Today, Takahashi is remembered not just as a performer, but as a pioneer who helped push the industry toward acceptance.